Alright folks, here's my preaching on freedom of religion and how retarded it is. If I don't preach on things regularly, I feel annoyed because of just how stupid the ideas are out there. Freedom of religion might as well be called exactly what it is. Total disunity of people. Enough of these nice flowery terms that describe something that is so stupid, so hideous, so retarded in world history, I cannot even believe it. Freedom of religion means disunity of the people. Total disunity, total chaos, total retardedness, total non-functionality, total suboptimal level of love, and basically total retardedness from sea to shining sea. Why don't we have freedom of mathematics? Oh, that's wonderful. Half of you will believe that 2 plus 2 equals 5. Another half of you will believe that 1 plus 1 equals 7. And because this is freedom of mathematics, we're going to have a third half of you that believes that 4 times 4 equals 685. And we're all going to function in business and society perfectly without changing our brains at any point, because this is what we were taught when we were young. This is what our parents said. We're going to believe these wrong things and we're all going to live together and it's going to be a great functional business. You have to be retarded. Why don't you just shoot me in the head right now? It's just the stupidest thing. It's the dumbest thing that ever came forth from the mind of the devil into the minds of men who are born in sin, powerless against Satan apart from the salvation of Jesus Christ, and walk around spewing these things on our streets. So, freedom of religion, for the sake of all intelligence in the universe, I am prophesying this and speaking these things. Freedom of religion is the dumbest thing that ever came forth into any nation in world history at any point. It is the very definition of stupidity. Remember, it just means total disunity of the people. Total disunity, and above all, non-blessing of God upon the nation. Because the Bible says, he who believes that Jesus Christ is the Son of God, the blessing of God dwells upon that person and spills over into their entire surroundings. He who does not believe that Jesus Christ is the Son of God and has not confessed the Lordship of Jesus Christ and asked Him to forgive them of all their sins has the wrath of God. Okay, we're talking the true God. We're talking the real Jehovah, controller of the universe, God. The wrath of God abides upon that person, and it affects others around them. And it affects their very physical region and their household and the whole 9 yards. The most important thing that happens in salvation, apart from, of course, the person going to heaven rather than hell, as far as this life is concerned, is they now become blessed by God rather than cursed by God. They are now on God's side. They are now in the blessing of God rather than the wrath of God. Like, it's a spiritual thing, okay? But it's real, and it affects economy, and it affects physical things, and it affects your health, and it affects the health of people around you, and it affects everything. So, let us never lose sight of God's best. Because the moment that you lose sight of God's best is the moment you're on the road to hell. That is true for an individual, it's true for a household, it's true for an entire nation. So what is God's best for an entire nation? For example, the nation of Canada. God's best is that the entire nation be 100% Christian from top to bottom, sea to shining sea, no other religions or beliefs allowed. Period. That is the best from God. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Jesus did not tell us to pray that prayer if it could not be answered. Nothing is impossible for God. That is the best. Okay? The king confesses the lordship of Jesus Christ. Every person in the kingdom confesses the lordship of Jesus Christ. It is not complicated. It's not difficult. God has done it many times throughout world history. He can do it again, and He can do it at an even higher level than He's ever done it. Because He's God, and nothing is impossible. And I pray for things like this, because I know who God is. So, the entire nation Christian from sea to shining sea. The education system, 100% Christ-centric, Bible-centric from sea to shining sea. all lies and stupidity burned to a crisp and blown away. And then you have a basic immigration policy that says you are not allowed in here unless you confess the Lordship of Jesus Christ, and you can answer all of these intelligent, Bible-based, truth-based, Jesus theology-based, Apostles' Creed confessing statements. It's called a simple test. You are not allowed in here unless your whole family confesses that Jesus Christ is Lord. Simple. Okay? There you go. There you go. And now everyone believes the same thing, and now society is blessed like never before. Done. So there's my preaching on freedom of religion and how retarded it is. And I pray that we see it come to an end in at least one beautiful nation on planet Earth. Canada would be great. That's my home country. That would be awesome. And so yeah, God is capable. I'm tired of people saying dumb things like, oh, that'll never happen. I'm like, you're a retard. What God do you pray to? Some little mouse that sits in the bottom of your room? The Bible says that all the nations are as a drop in the bucket before Jehovah. It's like, if you're not praying for the total baptism of your entire nation in the truth of Jesus Christ, you're probably not that close to God. Like, you really aren't. You're probably very distant from the heart of God and any kind of faith that means anything before God. There you go. Freedom of religion. Wow. The most retarded thing I've ever heard of in my life. It all starts with the kids, proper education in grade 1, a revamp of the education system. Not complicated. Done. That's my preaching on freedom of religion.